Well, what's up everybody? My name's Ty, and today we're talking about all things Safemoon and what's new in the space. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment down below. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm definitely not a professional. I'm just here to help you stay involved in the Safemoon community. Now, with that said, let's get into it. I'm coming at you guys from New York City. I'm here again for work. And so this is possibly the worst lighting setup that I've ever had for a video. And so here we are. There's literally no natural light in here. This window, it is actually light outside right now, but the buildings are so tall around it that there's no light that can get in here. So I could definitely never live in a building like this, but here we are right now, here for the next couple of days. And so hopefully we'll get a couple of videos out of New York this week. And so let's get into some news. This will be kind of a chill video, not going to do a lot of editing to it. Bitcoin right now is pretty much taking a huge hit at $22,352. So down 4.7% right now, and not looking too good. We are definitely entering that crypto winter that we've been talking about. We're down 26% in the 30-day range, 29% in the 14-day range, and the 1 year mark, we are down 42.9% right now. BNB is looking about the same at $224. Down quite a bit from where it was before, down 25% in the 30-day range and 38% in the 1 year range. Safemoon is actually rising a little bit from where it was yesterday. It actually touched, I don't know exactly how low it went, but I bought in at 0.43, down to 0.3041. So we had a great dip in buying opportunity yesterday, so hopefully you guys took advantage of that, but if not, we are still down from where we were a couple of days ago. Sitting at 0.3046. So we are definitely in a rough spot right now, but Safemoon is actually still making some forward progression, which is great. Safemoon is one of the few companies that are hiring people right now. We've seen some layoffs of other cryptocurrency companies, and Safemoon is posting job listings right now, which is a good sign for us. Our selling and buying pressure right now is at 42% selling and 57% buying. So I'd say that means that we're swinging our way back up. Less people are selling right now, and we've seen a movement in the amount of whales that we have. We'll look at that in a minute as well. But our swap and evolve progression, we actually hit another swap and evolve, which was great. So we hit count 7, and so now we're working on our next one. We're already about 1/3 of the way there, which is really exciting. I think these big dips and stuff like that help us move forward in that swap and evolve progression pretty quickly, which is really nice. Over here, we can see I posted a poll over here on Twitter just a couple of days ago. So it says, what are you doing with Safemoon right now? And most people were buying and holding. We had 42% buying, and 46.3% of people are just holding right now, which is great. We had a couple of people that accidentally said selling. They put selling, and then they commented down below saying, I didn't mean to mark selling. But it is really great that the Army is staying strong. We're taking advantage of this opportunity and moving forward. So I think that's the thing that's going to keep Safemoon afloat through this winter that we're going through, is that the Safemoon Army is still strong. Everybody's still very active, staying involved in the community, and I think we still have a long way to go. Somebody said, I tried to buy this juicy Safemoon dip. It's been a while since I have. MoonPay now says the bank ain't allowing it. Any suggestions? I commented to him and said I had the same problem. I used Simplex through Trust Wallet instead, and that worked for me. So if you guys are having the same problem, I think Chase Bank specifically is not allowing buys right now for some reason. And somebody else commented and suggested calling the bank and checking with them to make sure that they didn't block it, because they probably thought it was fraud or something like that. But yeah, if you just use Trust Wallet, that should work for you. That's always worked for me. And use Simplex, and you can simply import. If you got rid of Trust Wallet before, if you've never had one, you can just import your Safemoon key into Trust Wallet, buy on there, and then it'll put the funds straight into your Safemoon wallet, because it's the same wallet. So that is what you can do there. On Safemoon polls, they said, Safemoon Army, do you think Safemoon should transfer some of the remaining version 1 liquidity to counter this massive dip? And 56.6% said no. Now, the reason for that, we know that artificially enhancing tokens' worth is not the way to grow it, and not the way to make a business better. In the same way that buying stuff with a credit card doesn't make you rich. It's just, it doesn't work that way. And so I think it's great that we kind of have our head on straight. It's not a good way to to artificially inflate the token, and I think that's okay. So yeah, I voted no as well. To the top 25 Safemoon whales, dominance has dropped below 10%, which is great. So I think that gives us even more stability to our token in the future, and this number will continue getting lower and lower, especially when our price hits higher highs. And that is really awesome, because then our token's going to be more stable. The few percent that have large amounts of tokens, when they move, if they move their money or anything like that, it's going to cause these huge dips. And so once they're out, we're going to see a lot less of those big movements, which is really helpful for the rest of the Safemoon Army and help us with our upward trajectory. So here we have a article here on Grit Daily, and Safemoon, well, not Safemoon, but John Caroni interviewed, what is his name? He the computer guy, the CEO of Zydax Gaming. Yeah, I can't see his name. We'll see it in there. Dan, I think. Dan Young, I'm pretty sure. So he interviewed him on here, and we had some interesting things. So I'll come down here to this paragraph here that I thought was interesting. He said, Crony said, why do you love what you do, Dan? Dan Young. And he said, it's fun because the world is evolving so quickly. You know, it's the Moore's Law times 10 action. I think we're going to make a big world shift in the way transactions happen, so it's cool to be a part of the shift. And Crony said, how do you hope your work might impact others? Young said, I think the big thing with crypto and blockchain is that let me zoom in here, is that it may take the action we're creating to a lot of nations that don't have normal fiat currencies that's transactable to allow transactions to happen for new realms of people, and they can do crypto banking, do a lot of things that aren't currently possible, and improve their lives quite a bit too. For one thing, it surmounts the infrastructure requirements by allowing people to bring and store digital value into a country with significantly less than normal amount of banking infrastructure required. You don't need brick and mortar. If you got a cell phone, you could have access to digital banking in the form of cryptocurrency. And then John replied and said, I think another bonus is that the cell phones get issued to a lot of people in these countries for multiple uses. They can use them for education as well. It's a big deal. But on this track, do you believe impact in the other primary measures? So he asked him another question there, but that was the main thing that I wanted to cover there, because it sounds like Dan Young might be working with Crony on some of the Gambia stuff, because a lot of the way that he's talking right now, working in other countries with people that have cell phones but they don't have good banking infrastructure and that sort of thing. We know that John is being very involved in the Gambia and Safemoon in the Gambia and that sort of thing. We all know about that. But then also, like Caroni and John and Dan have been buddies. It seems like they both live in Utah, and we know that Dan built a computer for John that's like all Safemoon decked out and that sort of thing. So I'm just wondering if maybe Dan has something to do with that, or they probably just share some similar views in how crypto can be used. But it is interesting when it comes to the Gambia. I think a lot of the Safemoon Army kind of just shrugs it off, and they don't see how important it really is to John. And I feel like the whole Safemoon project is really about this. This is, I feel like, John's main thing that he wants to accomplish is in the Gambia. It doesn't seem like this is like some side hustle kind of thing. It seems like he's making this whole ecosystem come together so that he can help these people that he cares about and that his family's been involved in for years and years. And so I wouldn't shrug that off. I think this is one of the main things, and I think that's something that's really going to set Safemoon apart, is the way that they treat philanthropy and where they're bringing the business in the future to help other people. Here we have a post saying, Exchange and Cryptonomics, could you imagine someone like Michael Saylor holding all of his Bitcoin on the Safemoon exchange? Just think of all of the BTC reflections he would receive. I know that would probably never happen, but it's interesting to think about. Now, this is a really interesting point, and it is interesting to think about because I think once word gets out, once Safemoon gets a little bit bigger and people start realizing how big tokenomics is and cryptonomics, I think people are for sure going to start moving some of their finances over to Safemoon, big holders like this, so they can start gaining reflections. And I think there's a lot of whales out there in the Safemoon Army who've actually figured that out, and they're making tons of money every single day just because they're holding, even with this low amount of volume, because they have so much money in it. So I think once the volume is super high, people are going to be making crazy amounts of money because of the reflections, and they're going to see that and start moving money into. So I think Safemoon is going to be a snowball effect. Like once the ball gets rolling, it's going to pick up and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and things are going to move faster and faster. And I think it's just going to take a couple of releases of products to really get the ball rolling. And so here's one product that we have coming out. I said, when do you think the Safemoon card will drop? We talked about that in the last video. If you guys want to check that out, we had some information about the Safemoon card dropping in the next 2 weeks. So we said, when do you see the card being released? And 43% said June of 2022. Now, sometimes these community polls actually have something to them, because intuition has some value, I think, and so a lot of us coming together to put our opinions into something, sometimes can have some resonance or weight to it. So 43.5% said June 22nd of June 2022 could be the release of the card, and then the rest of us, 39.1%, said June or July to September of 2022. So I think we could safely say that we're all assuming in the next 4 months that we're going to be seeing the Safemoon card released. And I think when we look at it that way, we can all wait 4 months for the next product to come out, because we know that the Safemoon card is going to inject massive amounts of volume into the Safemoon project, and it's going to help us to see all these kinds of reflections. And then once we're seeing all these kinds of reflections, then more people are going to want to hop in. Bigger people with more money are going to want to hop in. And that's going to raise the price and the volume, more times again, and that sort of thing. So I think the card is going to be a big mover for Safemoon. It'll be really interesting to see what happens once the card drops. And I'm hoping that Safemoon does a ton of marketing around the card as well, to really get it off the ground and get it going in a positive direction. We have 2 more things that I wanted to look at right here. We had a post from John Caroni. He said, Carpe diem, except when it comes to cable management. We can see that his cables need to be managed. And he's drinking a monster over here, I think. He's not drinking an enhanced drink, it does not look like. And I don't know if you guys have seen those yet. I was on a space yesterday. It sounded like the enhanced drinks are coming in the next 5 weeks, I think, is when they're getting shipped out. So if you guys bought those, I think it's going to be, he either said 5 weeks or 5 months, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 weeks. But yeah, we had a Safemoon custom run of enhanced drinks, but I don't believe that's what he's drinking right there. But this post doesn't seem to have much significance to it outside of the fact that he is working at his desk right now, still moving things forward. So last post of the day, it's titled 3 million. He said, I've seen a lot of people down about Safemoon today, but one thing I think about is that the entire market as a whole is getting pretty beaten down. I'm not worried, honestly. This is the point where lots of folks sell at a loss, and there's extreme panic in the crypto space. It doesn't really bother me because I bought another million into the bag, and I'm thinking long-term into this. If this were to keep up, I want to reach 5 and eventually 10 million, if that's even possible later on. Holding can be tough through times like this, but I know in the future that we can get past all-time high. Granted, we have products on the way, and yes, there have been many delays. I'm holding for the long term. I will continue to buy at dips. These prices are insanely low, and it's perfect time to dive in and get a bag going. I know we're going to make it. So I totally agree with this, and I think, our markets actually need these types of dips and situations like this. Like there has to be correctional periods and that sort of thing to keep the market healthy. So I think this is actually a really important time, but it's also an incredible opportunity for new investors to get in and start a bag and to grow. I think that buying in now is going to be make a massive difference in people's lives 3 to 5 years from now. So I think right now is an incredible time to get into the market, get into stocks and bonds, get mutual funds going, buy some cryptocurrency. Now is a great time to get into the market, and I think 3 to 5 years from now, you can see some really serious returns, and get you at a point where you want to be, where you can start making some really serious money, because it really does take money to make money. And I think this is a point to put in whatever you have right now to get you up to that first level to where you can start putting some more serious money in to start really growing it. So I think now is definitely an opportunity, and now is the time to buy when the market is down. Be greedy when others are fearful. So Bitcoin, still rough right now, but I think we're going to make it through, and I think on the up and up, Safemoon is going to be okay, and things are going to be all right for us. So that is going to be it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. If you guys haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of the videos that I post on here. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.